Hey Motorheads, it's LMQ here, and welcome to Cars Conundrums. This will be a commentary series where I will go over strange occurrences in the Cars franchise and deeper bits of the lore of the series. And in this episode, we will be covering a very mysterious location from Cars' Major National Championship, the Ornament Valley Airport. Let's go. The Ornament Valley Airport is a location featured in the 2007 video game Cars Major National Championship. The reason behind the airport's construction is unknown. However, due to Major National's premise being racers from all around the world coming to compete in races in Radiator Springs, it could have been constructed in order to help the international contenders travel to Carburetor County safely. While this is a fairly plausible explanation, there's a lot of mystery surrounding how fast it was built and why it was presumably demolished almost immediately after the event had passed, which I'll get to in a later chapter. Another strange thing about the airport is the fact that it seems to have an entire racetrack within its interior. While this is extremely unusual for an airport, I have a theory about why the inside of the airport appears this way. It's highly likely that this could be how airports are usually designed within the Cars universe, and the alternative track above ground level could be a conveyor belt used for transporting luggage. While this does seem possible that this is why the airport's interior is designed this way, there's still another mysterious thing about it. And that's how quickly the airport is constructed between Cars the video game and Major National. Evident from both games' release dates, Major National most likely takes place 1 year after the original Cars video game. So if the airport was built within a year, Lightning and Mater would have had to have thought of the Major National immediately after they left for their road trip at the end of the first game's story. However, this still doesn't make that much sense, because the amount of time it really takes to construct an entire airport is usually 8 years to a decade. So it's still crazy how the people of a small town such as Radiator Springs were able to build a fully operational airport within the span of 1 year. But another thing that makes this really perplexing is what happens to the airport before the next game in THQ's trilogy. In 2009, there was a third Cars video game published under THQ, which served as a direct sequel to Major National, Cars Race-O-Rama. In this game, Ornament Valley is still present as a location to explore. However, the game reuses the Ornament Valley map from the original game, which means all of the new features added to the area in Major National are now missing, including the Ornament Valley Airport. While this could very likely be a simple case of Incinerator Studios wanting Race-O-Rama to have a more accessible open world given how limited the maps in Major National were, there could still be an explanation for this story-wise. Pretty much the only explanation I could think of is that after the Major National had ended, the airport was just immediately demolished after the international racers had all returned to their home countries. While this could very well be the reason why the airport isn't seen anymore, it really only makes its existence all the more baffling, because if Lightning and Mater wanted this airport built just for this event in 1 year, which should have taken much longer, then why the hell would they just demolish it right after the event was over, basically making all of their work go to waste? Since they now have an airport, they could easily just keep it around to assist them in traveling worldwide. Even in the last cutscene of Major National's main story, they set up Lightning and his friends traveling across the world to compete in the European circuit.
Lightning, it was a very enjoyable week, and I hope we can repay your hospitality and host you and your friends in the European circuit one day.
Absolutely. We'll take this show on the road.
We're going to Europe? And just where exactly is that again?
It's just over the pond.
Pond? Aw, dang, I can't swim.
If they were so eager to make this happen, demolishing the airport would just make it a really big problem. However, what if there was a possibility that the airport appeared in one of the movies? In Cars 2, when Lightning, Mater, and some other townspeople from Radiator Springs fly to Tokyo, they take off from an airport that apparently has been speculated to be the Ornament Valley Airport from Cars Major National. This theory could be possible given there appear to be rock formations around this airport that look very similar to the ones that we see throughout Carburetor County. I feel like this might not be the case. If you take a closer look at this airport, it seems to be majorly superior in terms of budget and quality compared to the airport in Major National, most likely due to Radiator Springs being a small town. And also, the airport in that game also did not seem to have a terminal building present, while the one in Cars 2 does. I could argue about the number of staff seen present in this airport appearing very substantial, which could be difficult for Radiator Springs to acquire. But they could have found some ways to reach out to other people who had experience with this occupation. However, my point is that both airports really don't seem to share that many similarities, so this theory doesn't really hold up that well. In conclusion, the Ornament Valley Airport is very mysterious. It was built extremely quickly, only to be demolished almost immediately after, and it conveniently has a whole racetrack built within it. This place has a lot of questions surrounding it that we might just never know the answers to. But what do you think about this location? Do you have any questions regarding the airport's existence? Let me know down in the comments if you do. Well, that's it for this episode of Cars Conundrums. I really enjoyed seeing you all here today. Remember to drive home safe and stay classy.
Boom, ba-doom, la 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 la. Boom, ba-doom, la 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 la. Boom, ba-doom, la la la.